We're family. We're still here in the book of Daniel, and we're going to talk about a very popular story that we've read most of our lives, but it really did happen.
Amen.
And any choice that you make that doesn't cost you something is pretty easy.
It isn't really
It's the one that
a
costs
choice.
you that develops your character,
That's right. That's right.
So we're going to start in Daniel 3, and you know the story. We'll tell you the story. And it's about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And the king, he built a statue that was 90 feet tall.
And 9 feet wide.
Because he was pretty arrogant. And he wanted everybody to worship
him.
And so he sent a decree, and he said, when the band starts to play, I want everyone to fall on their face and worship this idol. And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, now granted, this had been some time, they had proven themselves.
They're now counselors to the king.
They had lived a life that honored God, and they had favor.
And they sit in a place of authority in Babylon.
And when they didn't obey the king's command, the people around them who were jealous turned them into the king.
And said, look, those guys are not worshiping you.
And the king said, how could this be? He said, I'll actually give you one more chance.
He brings them to him and says, come on, guys, we're going to play some music again, and you just bow down and do what you're supposed to do, and I'll wash the whole thing away, and it'll be cool.
And the cool thing is these guys said, look, we're not going to bow, and we believe that our God will deliver us.
And he said, but if you don't, I'm going to throw you in the furnace.
Yep.
So they knew the cost, and they said, we're not going to bow.
I would rather honor God than I care about my own life.
Right.
Which is a huge choice that they made. The decision to say, I'm not going to worship your idol, and God will deliver us out of this situation, but even if he doesn't, we're still going to serve him.
That's right.
That's exactly what they said. So we were thinking about this and everything that's going on in our society and how we are to live like Christians in the midst of this circumstance.
That's right.
And it really has a lot to do with our choices that we make and how we want to live our lives through this situation.
Some of the things we've seen are people getting very angry, very bitter, and getting very challenging and trying to force or make fun of other people for doing some things differently than them. None of those things reflect the character of God. Even if you're right, we're not to intimidate or make fun or run someone else down. I can't ever win with God that way. I can be right and still give mercy and still give grace. That's what the word says. That's a choice.
Absolutely.
There's a first choice.
It's a very good choice. So, I learned this a long time ago, and it took me a while. I really didn't know it. No one had ever taught on it when I was growing up. But there is such a thing as spiritual adultery, where we are worshiping anything other than God.
That's right.
So as we have spent this time, even Sunday, talking about how this is an opportunity for reset, we highly encourage you to search your own lifestyle and determine whether or not there might be some idols in your life that are it's time to get rid of them.
If you're a scientist, do you value science more than you do God? If you have a company, do you value your company more than God? If your family is more important to you than God, understand you can't save your family.
That's right.
You can't rescue your company. You can't fix, but God will save your company.
Yes.
He'll save your family. He'll bless you and everything you touch if you honor him. God says, if you make me first, I'll make you first.
Amen. So tomorrow we're going to see what happens to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That's right.
And encourage you that the same thing will be for you.
Read it. It's in Daniel chapter 3, 1 through 19.